what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Tell Mom podcast.
More fun the second time, Cullen.
I know.
Second time around.
Yeah, we've been trying to find the best way to have audio where we can talk over each other because that's what we do. I think we've figured this out.
Because that's what we do.
This is awesome.
Well, hey, y'all.
Okay. What's
Welcome
up?
to the show. What's up? Thanks for listening and tuning in. I know that our lives are very different lately, and I know a lot of you are still, finding time to sit on the couch and listen to us instead of during your commute, or you're getting in bed late at night and putting our voices in your ears. So we appreciate it.
Hey, you know what? I just think I realized your microphone is right there on your string.
Oh, is it really?
No, right. That thing, that long white piece of cord.
Oh,
there
okay.
you go.
So I don't even have to hold my phone up like this.
No.
Talk to me. Hey, y'all, we're getting used to this new way of life, okay? But now that we've figured it out, Cullen and I, hopefully the audio sounds better than it did last week. Thank you guys for your comments, letting us know that we were slacking in the audio department. But we're back, folks. How's it going, Cullen?
Oh my gosh, it is going. It is going. There's been we've had Easter Sunday.
Yes, so yesterday was Easter, because y'all don't know what day we're doing this. We're actually doing this podcast, but it's Monday right now. So the day before this releases, it's actually Monday, April 13th, which is our sister's birthday.
Annie.
She's the big 3-6 this year, and that's how I know how old I am. Is whatever Annie is, I know that I'm 1 year younger, because I can't even keep up with my own age right now.
I almost, when I wrote her this morning and had the kids sing to her and stuff, I almost put the age in there, but I couldn't remember. So I didn't want to look stupid.
But it's not like an insult. It's not like, oh, I can't remember how old you are. It's because I literally cannot remember how old I am. So
I literally can't.
Yeah, it's everybody. No, there's no special treatment. Everybody gets lost in the mix. But yeah, she's actually in Cambodia, so her birthday is almost over there. But what's the point in being on the other side of the world if you can't celebrate twice? So today, like, a girlfriend of ours messaged me this morning and said, hey, let's do a Zoom call. And now I'm an old pro with the Zoom. So I said, yeah, let's do it with a group of us girls, and we're going to message Annie. And I said, yeah, but we need to hurry up and do it, because it's 10 o'clock her time. It's 10 o'clock this morning, It's like 11 o'clock. So she gets to celebrate her birthday tomorrow in America.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's going to get like belated birthday wishes, pretty much, is how it's happening. But
so what is in my message I sent to her? Well, first of all, I sent her a picture of that guy that's the cerveza, or I don't always like to party. When I do, I sent her one like that, and I actually found one that said, I don't always like to travel, but when I do, it's to Cambodia.
That's where she is. Yeah.
I was like, who comes up with these memes? But and we'll get into some memes here in a minute.
Yes, I've been seeing them roll in this morning. Thank you all for putting your memes up on our Twitter.
I was just like, what is she gonna do about getting home? Did we talk about this at last podcast, or was that after we stopped recording?
Well, I don't know, but we're trying to figure it out. She's okay though. She's exactly where she wants to be. She's just bummed out that she can't. She planned on going lots of different places, but now she's kind of locked down. She is enjoying Cambodia, and she's been doing some charity work and stuff out there. She was, and then all this happened. And now it's just kind of a bummer, because it's like she can't even go do the touristy things, even, or the non-tourist, whatever. She can't do anything that she really wanted to do because everything's shut down. Like, I don't even think they can travel county to county, quote, unquote, like, in their little areas, which is fine. But there's actually a lot less cases of corona in Cambodia than here. So she feels like she's even safer there than she would be here. And she's riding out, it's cheap over there.
Yeah, true.
She's been like, it's like $300 a month for all her bills. She's like, I could live here for a year. You know what I mean? So she's chilling. She's doing fine. But happy birthday, Annie. If you're listening to the podcast, we love you. Yes. Happy birthday. That's some good news. Folks, with everything going on, time's still going. We're still moving. We're getting, birthdays are happening. People are getting older. Easters are going on. Easter was, well, you tell me how your Easter was, Cullen, because you're the one that normally celebrates these things.
Well, It was good. It was different. It was really surreal. Like, um, I don't know, in all aspects of everything, it was surreal. And I've seen all the pictures and stuff on Instagram, and everybody's, all my friends and stuff, and everybody kind of, I think, had the same feeling or thoughts. But um, it just, we dressed up, we got up, and we acted like we were going to church, and because
I saw you
even
were all
growing
in your
up,
Sunday best and taking pictures on the
yeah.
golf course, and I saw your Instagrams and all that. And
even even growing up, that's like the only time that we all dressed up. I think
yeah,
we didn't really go to church that much, considering.
well,
But
I know
no,
Easter. It was our G mother. She said y'all are coming, so we would go on Easter and get the nice what do you call them? Where they're she made the dresses. What do you call it?
oh,
Embroidered.
and yeah, yeah.
No, it's called
God,
something. Anyway, your kids were, Gaines is wearing them. We wore them when we were kids. It's, I don't know if it's a Southern thing or not, but we wore the little cute little dresses that were specific for that. And,
what's the word? That's gonna drive me crazy.
you
It's a
know,
Southern thing for sure. But anyway,
Katie knows. I got a box of them.
Katie, yeah, right.
From Gaines' old ones. I love seeing y'all dress up
Uh,
though, and I was like, well, they're all dressed up with nowhere to go. There's no church today. I will tell you, it was a very cool experience to see on the TV. The guy Bocelli or whatever singing "Amazing Grace" and an empty room, and then the Pope out there celebrating with no one there. When usually, there's 80,000 people in front of him when he does the service, and so it's
well,
very
that's what we
eerie.
did.
It's definitely, this is going to
Yeah.
go down in history. It's going to go down in the books, Cullen.
It was really surreal and eerie, like just the whole concept behind it all. And the past 3 weeks, we've done live stream church. There's like a kids service that the kids watch, and they'll only watch it for a few minutes, and then we'll watch ours,
Yeah.
just to keep it in touch as far as all that goes. But yesterday they like combined 3 or 4 choir services all via Zoom. What we're doing now, so there was like 20 rows of
See, that's too
everybody, and
much. I can't even see you at that point.
well, it was all like edited, like it was a edited video. They had everybody in the choirs sing the same song,
Okay.
and it was just so surreal because everybody had a different background. Everybody was in the room by themselves, but they were all singing the same song and made it come together on this Zoom call, in a
Yeah.
sense, to
That's
where
cool. Like
it
giving
was
each
just
other
like,
solos and stuff, and they zoom in on this person and zoom in on that person.
and like, yeah, they would like start a sentence or a lyric of a song, and then cut to another family that finishes it, and then cut back to a different family,
Yeah.
and they were all in different areas. It was just really like, I was like, I can't believe this is happening, or like this is how it is.
Hey, some people got drive. You know what I mean? They got the
Oh my
ambition
gosh.
and the drive and the energy to do all these things from the comfort of their home. I'm usually home and I can't get, literally, Cullen, this is what we did yesterday. Nothing. And we didn't even get out of
Good.
our pajamas. We didn't get out of our pajamas. I mean, we don't go to church anyway. We're more I'm more spiritual. Corey could give a toot about any of it, but we're just, we never did that anyway. And
Yeah.
so it's not like we were going to get up. I probably would have had like an Easter egg basket for the baby if things were normal, but that's probably the only difference. We stayed in our pajamas all day and it was great. And, we enjoyed ourselves, but you did more than we did. That's for sure.
We got lucky because before all this stuff started happening, we kind of, with our budget and stuff, had kind of been planning ahead. And so whenever we were out, we would see something to be like, oh, that's good for Easter, and then have it stored. And then we'd have these companies, like Moose Toys is one of them, and then Play-Doh and Hasbro. They'll send us little packages just to hopefully get some exposure, I would assume,
Right.
and tell us to use a hashtag if we wanted to, and this, that, and the other. We don't ask them to send them, but so we have these little, and I hope the kids aren't outside the door listening, but we had all these little mystery toy bags and mystery candies and stuff that we were able to put in their Easter basket. So they actually had
Nice.
a really, really good Easter as far as the looks go. And
Hey,
then we went out and hid some Easter eggs the night before I did. And we never even said anything about doing an Easter egg hunt to the kids. But literally, they came downstairs and they saw their Easter baskets, and I was like, "This is going to be awesome! They're going to spend like hours inside playing with all this stuff." And the first thing they wanted to do was go out and hunt Easter eggs just out of nowhere. And I was thankful that Katie talked me into hiding them the night before instead of the morning of.
Yeah.
And
Easter Bunny's not slacking, Cullen. This thing doesn't affect the Easter Bunny. Okay.
so they went out and
He's
like
essential
looked for,
worker.
yeah, right. They went out and did Easter egg hunting before they even touched their baskets, and were like the most excited they've ever been, it seemed. And then there's always that, like, we counted so we were like, all right, you get 18 eggs, you get 18 eggs, because Gaines is going to find them a little bit faster than Brooks. And then you get 4 green eggs and you get 4 green eggs because they have money in them. And so we made sure the money was even and all that stuff. But there was one green egg that the Easter Bunny lost that we couldn't find. And I was like, what the hell? And so we literally
someone found that one. The green one?
we had
Yeah.
we had to go back out hours later looking for it. Still couldn't find it. And then when we went out to go take the picture on the golf course, Gaines started riding one of the toys down the hill. And I just looked down and I saw it. And I'd covered that thing up with grass and everything.
They weren't finding that one.
So they ended up finding it. But
oh man.
Isn't that how it always goes?
That's awesome.
The Easter Bunny always loses an egg.
Yeah, right? At least one. I'm telling you, we used to have a good time at the park when we were kids growing up with the Easter egg hunt. That was one thing that was the best part about Easter for me. But these days, Cullen, I am shocked at what people are willing to spend on their children for Easter. I had no idea Easter was like Christmas now. You got people posting pictures in my mama's groups on Facebook of just like a whole like rack of stuff for these kids. There's big baskets with tons of candy and there's presents. Somebody got a bicycle. It's like, wait.
A bicycle?
Yeah, I saw like toys, and I mean, it's Christmas out here on Easter. I mean, I was shocked. Crazy. I had no idea, but I don't have, like I just now have a kid, and our mentality as far as Easter for her was like, she's not going to remember it. So,
no,
right now is not really the time to just be throwing money away. And we don't know when Corey's going to work again. Well, thankfully he is working right now, but I mean, we just wanted to be together and that was it. And I didn't eat a single, marshmallow peep. I didn't eat a jelly bean, nothing. So Easter came and gone for me, Cullen.
That's good though. That's good because you realize, and there's times where, and I think we've talked about this in the past too on the podcast, gift Gaines things and she'll not, I've got like grandiose ideas for her and for Brooks to play with, and they won't even touch it. Kind of like the Easter baskets.
Yeah.
They wanted to go hunt Easter eggs instead of even play with the toys and stuff and eat the candy. But then 2 years later, they go back to those toys that we got them 2 years ago, and they're like playing.
Look at this sweet toy. I totally don't even remember where it came from.
Yeah, right.
It just at the wrong time. You just gave it to him at the wrong time. But I think.
Can I just say
what?
There's one thing that I absolutely despise.
Okay.
And I don't even know if we did it growing up. Probably, but the whole process the night before of dyeing the damn Easter eggs.
Oh no, honey. We did plastic colored already.
Well, no, yeah, we did those for like the hunt, but like just going through it's kind of like carving a pumpkin thing, but like that is the most stressful shit I've ever gone through.
Trying to paint it every all nice year. And little lines and a tiny little egg. How do you even do that? No, Cullen, I know for a fact we did not do that growing up. We did plastic because Mom, Granberry was not having that. So we did the plastic egg. I mean, maybe we've done it once or twice. I think in school, that's when we would paint eggs, right? And they would give us like the big ones that you're supposed to paint or whatever. But no, we didn't do the whole dyeing every year thing. Well, that's a Katie tradition. Y'all can have it.
Yeah, I guess. And every year I'm like, we're not doing this again because this is just because they don't understand. They don't understand patience. You got to leave the eggs in the dye for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And then every year it's like they have some new special Easter egg die kit that you can do glitter bomb and spaz out with different
What, do you boil the
emojis
egg? I
and
don't even know how this process works. You boil them, right?
yeah. So you boil the eggs and then you so we did that and then we actually had egg salad sandwiches yesterday with those eggs that we dyed. So we ended up using them, and she was going to make deviled eggs, but you boil the eggs and then you just put them in this vinegar and water and let them just get dyed. But then you got to do the glue and the glitter and the all the crap. And then one of the kids drops and cracks their egg. So you put a Band-Aid on the egg, and Brooks is still carrying around a 3-day-old boiled egg. Yeah. It's just, it's awful.
Well, I mean, I hate to tell you, Cullen, but your time frame for not doing these things has passed, because now they're at the age where they're going to start remembering, or Gaines is anyway. So yeah, we've already, like, I think I've decided for any of the holidays, we're probably just going to do very minimum for the first 5 years, because it's like,
yes,
it's like, I get the excitement and the fun. I don't want the, like, our girls to miss out on any of that stuff. But at the same time, right now, it's like, it's not that big of a deal if we miss this one. Just let this one go by.
They're not going to remember shit.
You've been doing it every year.
I know. Brooks actually did remember. He remembered last year. Like, I don't know, like, how, because last year was a weird Easter too, because we had Ron and Jenny come in town because his dad passed away and he needed a place to stay. And so he had his three girls, and a little boy. And they stayed up in the guest room. And then we had our kids. But so we didn't want their kids to come down and see the Easter baskets and start digging through them. And we don't want our kids to wake up and come down and see Ron and Jenny's Easter. Yeah. So we had the Easter Bunny hop into our room overnight and leave them by our fireplace in our room. And Brooks remembered that like 2 days ago. He was like, "Is the Easter Bunny going to leave the baskets in y'all's room again?" I was like, "Whoa, he remembered that." Yeah. That's just crazy.
Hey, he's sharp now. You can't get one past Brooks. Brooks is like thinking about that stuff. He's like, "When is the candy going to be here?"
And literally, I had to cut him off yesterday and this morning because he tricked me this morning. He got me good.
Get you going.
He said, "Let's go." I was air frying some bacon, and then he said, "Let's go Easter egg hunt, Daddy. I'll hide some eggs, and you can find them." And so he got 2 eggs, and I said, "Okay, we'll just reuse the eggs we already have." He said, "Oh no, we got to put candy in them." And I was like, "But we don't have any candy." So he went to his candy stash from yesterday and filled them back up. And then we went outside and we hunted the eggs. He said, "Okay, now let's go inside and look and see what we got in them." And he opens them up and just starts eating his candy out of the eggs after we'd already told him no more candy this morning. And then he did it again.
This is big elaborate plan.
And then I'm sitting here going, as I'm like not even paying attention frying this bacon, I'm like, that little sneak, he just like tricked me into eating like 5 more pieces of candy by doing another Easter egg.
Busted. Oh man, you can't tell him though. He'd be like, "What are you talking about? We were just Easter egg hunting." What you do? Right? You don't go trick or treating and not eat a piece.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh, that's great, dude. I'm glad that y'all had a good Easter and in the spirit of like the kids, and they're still on board with it. I think we might have looked. I still have on my refrigerator from last Easter. We came and met you guys and did the Easter egg hunt with Dolly and Jim. And Sophia was so little. She's only a couple months old. So, we took her and but we have the picture of the Easter Bunny still on our refrigerator from last year. That's how long it's been there. And I think at one point yesterday, Corey was like, "Hey, look, baby, remember Easter?" You remember the Easter Bunny? You already met him.
Yeah. And you'll meet him again one day.
But
funny story about that, like finding old Easter stuff for a year later. Katie yesterday, this kind of ties in with what I was telling you about the Easter baskets being in her room. She was cleaning up yesterday under the bed and like put my cords. I've got cords and stuff hanging out. And
your bed's made this week.
Yeah, right. And we're starting to get into a better routine, but She was cleaning out from under the bed and pulls out a empty box that once held a hollow Easter bunny
Yeah.
from last
Nice.
year. It's been
Y'all
under our
done
bed for a
Marie
year.
Kondo or whatever. You've done all this stuff and ain't found that one yet. Well, I mean, at least it
There's
was
no telling
found.
what's under there.
Sometimes they just get in those places. It's like your blind spot, you know. It
Yeah,
must have been in
I
a
think one of
blind
the
spot.
dogs took it under there. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, like a freaking year later, there's an empty box of chocolate bunnies. Like, this
Can
is
I just
crazy.
tell you, because I just thought
Um,
about this while you were talking about what was behind you, that my favorite part of watching all these news anchors and these, celebrities and stuff do their Zoom calls, and that's how they're filming everything. My favorite part is to see what's in people's backgrounds and like how they're positioned on the screen is probably my favorite thing about this whole virus.
there's like some that are like,
That are like down
they're,
super low. And then you got people in the background of their house. Like this morning, what's her name? She's a news anchor for CBS or whatever, Gail Sim or something.
I know who you're
Right.
talking
So she
about.
was at
Yeah.
home and so she's sitting. I'm just like, where do you choose to sit when you're having to do this from your secret personal place? And when you're used to it, you're used to filming stuff at home, but these people are not, obviously. And anyway, this morning it just drove me crazy because she was sitting and behind her is a wall of pictures and you could see all these pictures of her and her family. It's like, oh, that's nice. But one of them daggone pictures was crooked on the wall and I just could not stop. I couldn't even pay attention because I'm just looking like at this wall and there's this one picture that's picture frame crooked. But then you got people that like, that just are in the, like, people just set up in the corners most of the time, I think. There's one guy's like his computer screens in the background and you're like creeping on his computer, see what he was looking at.
That's a good segue into something we should talk about. It's kind of like other things that have happened due to all this that have gotten overshadowed, and Zoom would be one of them. There's actually several, if you like just Google search Zoom fails. There's been people that will forget or not actually turn their video off. They think they've got their video turned off. And then I've seen them this girl walks in, she's got like a group of people sitting on this meeting, and she walks in and puts her phone down and then goes to the bathroom, and they're all like, let me text Sherry and tell her to turn her video camera off.
And it's showing.
She doesn't even realize she's got it on front facing instead of like
Yes. I've got
horrible.
to go look that up.
And then you got the guy they'll be like, all right, well, we'll be right back in just a minute. Everybody go take a water break or something. And the guy stands up and he's in his whitey tighties and he doesn't even, he thinks the video's off.
Yes.
There's
oh
so
my
many
God,
of
I
those.
love it because you're putting all these people that are not used to this situation, in front of a camera. I don't have pants on right now.
Yeah.
So, I'd be willing to bet you probably don't either.
No, I do actually. I got a shower this morning, but I've done several videos with pantsless.
I'm telling you, Cullen, I've been pantsless for weeks now. But the thing is that I'm 8 months pregnant, so I'm allowed to not have pants anyway.
Yeah.
Like I pants at 8 months. I think that's the cutoff for me with pants. I told Corey yesterday.
You're good.
I came out. I came out into the kitchen Easter Sunday with no clothes, not a stitch of clothes on. And Corey was like, what?
Oh, no.
Middle of the day, the blinds are open. I don't, and I just was like, look, I can't stand the touch of anything on my body right now. I just can't. The pressure. I don't know. You've never been pregnant, so you don't know. But when you get this big, no. It's like a feather could land on my belly, and it is too much. There is not enough room in the world for anything else to be touching my belly. So, yeah, I'm just letting it all hang out. Yesterday, Cullen.
More power to you, though.
Hey,
that's good.
And now people are getting comfortable. Like I really do think that this is going to be very eye-opening in the long run about what can be what can actually get done from the comfort of your own home. You know, we talked about that last week.
Yes.
Some companies are going to be like, we don't even need to pay rent anymore because we can just do this from home. We've seen everybody's boxers.
Yes.
We've seen everybody, you know.
I saw one guy on Joe Rogan talking about he's a writer for several, I think, TV shows or something, but he said he performs so much better from the comfort of his own home when he's trying to write a segment or write a story or something, knowing that he has to turn in an email virtually, like, or, you know, writing it at home, turning in an email or script via email that's going to get proofread by the executives or the higher ups versus going and shooting the shit and eating sushi lunch in a conference room, and they're like every sentence is getting dissected in front of him. He's like, I perform, I'm able to just have my own thoughts and know that once I hit send on this email, it's my best work versus having the pressure of everybody over you,
ping
eating
ponging
sushi,
back
drinking
and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's true for
that's a
some
good
folks,
thought.
but for others, this is just never going to be okay. You know, like for me,
Yeah.
I'm not even, I don't even have a job, and I couldn't have had, like, not for real. I stay at home anyway, and I can't imagine just the idea that everything else is shut down and everybody else is home too makes me lazy and like not want to be motivated. Some people like literally mentally need to not be lazy. They have to get up and go to a place and be accountable and, like, you know what I mean? That's me. I would need
That
somebody
was
to be
the
like, you need
hardest.
to meet me here at this time in this meeting. You know, I couldn't just.
That was that was the hardest transition for me whenever I was, you know, I missed the water cooler talk and
socializing,
the banter back and forth in between
that's what gave you your
calls at
better
my
work, right?
office job. And
you were able to do your best work. Yeah,
but
some people, it just depends. People work differently, you know.
Yeah, speaking of that, there was kind of going back to the Zoom fails. There's a people, a channel called the Nelk Boys. You need to look them up. They're raunchy, like they're bad,
I love
hilarious,
that stuff. Okay,
pranksters. But it's the Nelk Boys, and they actually like hijacked or pranked a Zoom call that was during a college course or something. And I don't even know the context of it, but I think they get in on this Zoom call with all these professional college professors and stuff, and like
going ham,
smoking weed and drinking beer.
Yes, that's awesome.
They're like, "Who is this?
You knew this class? That's awesome."
Know, it's just
I heard that they were having some security problems, but you can imagine that. Like, I never even heard of it. A lot of people never even heard of it until a couple weeks ago. So it's getting bigger than they're able to control. But
one of the best things out of this so far has been Zoom and being able to stay in touch in a better way. What's some other stuff?
Cullen.
We've got a couple things here on board. This is what
we were saying last week. We wanted to start focusing on the positive things. And, you know, in general, I think we should probably do that. Not just because of what's going on in the world with the coronavirus and all that stuff, but I was watching a lot of like videos about just optimism and how, you know, over time, it's like the news only focuses on the bad stuff. And so, because that's the big news. News is never going to be, this city didn't get bombed today. And, you know, like a normal day that's a good day is not going to ever be news. So I've been watching these videos about this stuff and just trying to keep like a positive mind and start looking at what is good, what is right. You know what I mean? Like all the things that people die less of war now than 100 years ago, like in comparison to how things were. People, the time frame that you should live, like what am I trying to say? Life expectancy is longer, and, you know, people are dying less of diseases and all these things, you know, that are the positive things. It's like to have a mentality. We're just so programmed to the negative, and your psychology likes the negative stuff. And so anyway, that was my whole point about it, was just let's try to find the positive things and the good things. So I've been doing a lot of looking at good news that's getting, tossed under the rug because of all the bad news that comes before it, right? One of my
Yeah.
favorite stories that I've come across, and I'm a big like space nerd. I love space stuff. But I was reading this article about sailing through space on the power of the sun. And it's just so cool, Cullen. It's like, it's basically like we're using the sun's energy to power a satellite instead of rockets and fuel and stuff like that. And so it's amazing because it's like we can go farther than we've ever gone before. We can explore places we've never explored before, and reach out farther into space than we have, and like stuff like that. I love stories like that.
Solar sails allow us to harness the power of our sun. It's kind of like the whole concept with the solar panels. And this is interesting too. I think Dad actually, before he passed, talked about this and talked about how he wanted to create a combustion or some type of engine or something. You know how he was always like trying to tinker with things, but he was like, if I could just get these pistons to go back and forth like this, to create the wheels of something to move with the energy. I mean, this is all to do. This is just energy. And if I can harness the energy that's coming from the sun to make something do like this, to get the wheels to go like this.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I could create basically this machine or this car or this whatever that is, and I think there are some solar powered cars now in general, but he was talking more along the terms
business,
concrete mantle business. Yeah, like creating a machine.
This energy for free.
yeah.
I know. I love that.
He's tired of running that extension cord out the window to the neighbor's house.
The cool thing about that, that little article that I was reading, that little bit of news that was good news, was that Cullen, I lost it. Oh yeah, the cool thing about that, I was just looking at it and was like, wait, what was I talking about? No, the cool thing about that is that it's actually funded. Like this project is that idea, first of all, from like the 1600s, and now it's coming like to fruition now. But it's all funded by like people, by crowdfunding. Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
that's like
crowdfunding.
it's like, if you have enough people, there's power in numbers. If you have enough people, then you can put your minds together, put a little bit of money in each, and get some stuff done, and start.
And it's got one of the coolest backers, or the Bill Nye the Science guys that we all grew up with.
I love that guy.
It all.
Right. So that was one of my favorite little bits of news that I read this week. What good news did you get? I know you put on our Twitter for everybody to give us your funniest memes, which I've been going through.
Oh yeah, we'll get to some memes here in a minute. But before we do that, one of my favorite stories that I came across this past week, and it's been talked about a lot, were the fact that for 10 years, Ying Ying and Lily at Ocean Park in Hong Kong have not made it. And they were trying to figure out, what's wrong with these pandas? Why won't they mate? And turns out that if you just keep everybody at home and give the freaking pandas some privacy,
that's all they needed, Cullen. They just were sick of people looking. They're a shy, modest creature.
Right? So, the pandas are mating after 10 years 13. Of abstinence.
Yeah.
13, something like that.
I love the panda story.
Yeah, that was cool.
The panda story is some good news. I'm trying to think of what else you sent me. I loved the panda. I know you sent me a bunch of them.
There was a grandmother that she sings happy birthday to herself amid the quarantine, and it's just these sweet stories. And it kind of goes back to the whole pictures that I saw with all my friends and stuff with Easter. There were people that were going over to their grandmother's house and doing an Easter egg hunt right outside the window so the grandmother could watch the grandchildren hunt Easter eggs. And it's just like, as sweet as that is, it's also just so
Yeah.
heartbreaking because of what we're going through. It's just like,
Well,
oh,
with
it sucks.
the
But
good news about
it
it is that it is getting better. I feel like we're on the upside. I mean, I
yeah,
know that it's they keep talking about this peak and whatever, but they're talking about opening the economy again, which is good news. I mean, we're like starting to kind of see a light at the end of the tunnel, even though we're kind of in the thick of the worst of it right now. I was reading this morning that they are watching the news or something where they had readjusted their models or whatever to tell you how many people were going to die. And in a week or 2 weeks ago, we were looking at between 100 and 200,000, and now that they're saying it's close, it's going to be more like 30,000 to 100,000, like somewhere in that range. So it's good that, you know, what the prediction was isn't happening, that it's going to be a lot less people that are going to die or be affected by
down.
this. The other good news with it that I've seen as far as news on the subject goes is that they've got those little tests that they're about to do, I think by the end of the week, that people are going to be able to tell with a finger prick if you've already had it. Like, what would you do if you found out? Yeah.
Like
What if
at
you found out you
home,
already had it this whole time
you can
you've
do
been
them
in
at
there
home.
and you weren't even able to get it again? You're like Will Smith on I Am Legend. You are immune to the poison. You know what I mean? Like,
Katie told me about that story, and I
yeah.
hate a finger prick in general. And I was like, I would rather just not
So
know
like,
than
I'll
prick
stay
my
home.
finger. Like that. I'm just gonna keep washing my hands until I feel bad. But no, yeah, that's very promising. Hopefully, to be able to test that. You still just don't know like what the next steps will be as far as like, can you imagine what the damn beaches and bars are going to be like? It's going to be a freaking
Yeah, it's gonna
throwdown
be
when this is
bumping.
all released. Like there's going to be
Economy's gonna
there are going
recover
to be
in
some,
one day.
I
Let me
mean,
in
it's going
Target.
to there are going to be some drunk
Yes.
ass people after all this, like get
Oh yeah.
just all jacked up. But
So that's good news, though.
it's
But that's
another
what I'm
fun
saying. Like
story.
we're
That
getting
is
back
good
to
news.
we're starting to think about opening the economy, even if it's too soon or whatever. But you're starting to think about that because everybody's just sitting at home, like daydreaming about the day that they can go to the bar and the beach and to Target and to do their normal things. So yeah, I think that you're gonna get like a big boom. Here's some money. Everybody's gonna drop it on you. Speaking of money, the stimulus checks are already coming in for folks. I've been reading on my Facebook. My
Yep,
mommy's
yep.
group is like one of them's like national. And so you got lots of women in there. It's like, hey, I got my stimulus check, or did y'all get y'all's in this state or whatever. So you're seeing that happen. So, you know, that'll boost us a little bit. And it's that it's short term. That's the optimistic mentality, is that it's short term.
Yeah.
We're proving a lot to ourselves, I think, that we can handle this. I was reading something the other day that was like talking about what's her name? Anne Frank. Is that the name? Where she hid from Hitler for 750
Yeah.
days, you know, from
Yeah.
getting found and seeing that she was Jewish and blah blah blah. So it's like stuff like that. It's like that kind of puts it in perspective. Like if you can hide in an attic and not make a noise for 750 days for your life, then I think that staying inside in your nice cushy house or your little apartment or your whatever is not that big of a deal to be able to have to do that for a few weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And social
That's
distancing is
yeah,
working. Like they're
totally.
saying, yes, we're doing the right things. Like we're doing a good job. People are coming off ventilators.
Yeah. I read somewhere something about like Switzerland is kind of going against the grain. I think it was, or Sweden was going against the grain with the whole theory. They are doing like somewhat social distancing, but they're leaving all their bars and stuff open because the whole thought of what's going to happen when it comes back and our immune systems aren't built up and this and that. Now I don't think they've had that much difference.
Well, we'll figure it out.
So
We
far,
got some
but
smart people.
another thing I
You
was
know
going
what
to
I
say
mean? We have
was,
some smart people in our country. I think we're going to figure it out by that time.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is why you need to listen to the CDC and get vaccinated, folks.
yes, right. Another fun thing that's happened is kind of been cool. I've seen. I don't know if you probably have noticed like a lot more
Mhm.
Instagram live videos have been going
Yeah, so you
out.
get
People are
close
going
and
live
personal to these
all the
people.
time now. And well,
Yeah.
yeah. So Sean Diddy Combs yesterday did a dance-a-thon with all these celebrities like Drake and J Lo. And
Uh-oh.
did that mess up? We
No,
good?
I can still hear you.
Okay.
Somebody called you.
Yeah, I had a call there. Um, but so anyway,
Wait, so I didn't see it. I know you had told me about it, but it was P. Diddy and he did a dance off with his mask on, right?
he did
So
it was an all day, or not all day. I think it started at 3 Central or 3 Eastern. And he went for hours with, I mean, the list of celebrities he had on his Instagram live. I mean, it was like he got in touch with the CEO of Instagram to make sure he had enough bandwidth and like strength and numbers so it wouldn't crash the site, because it was massive, the amount of celebrities he got on.
hey,
Oprah was on there, and
what? Leave it to P. Diddy throw a party,
yeah, it
in
was
the middle of a
crazy.
pandemic.
Right.
That's some good news. What was the one you sent me about Logan Paul? And he had a face, he's making face masks now.
Yeah, so he was going to rebrand. I've been keeping up with his podcast. He was going to rebrand his merch line, and then all this happened. So instead of releasing merch to try to make more money in this whole crisis, he ended
Mm-hmm.
up shifting gears and made from what I remember, he made Maverick face masks, and instead of selling them, he thought about selling them, I think. And then instead of selling them, he just gave them away for free. He said, all you have to
Yeah.
do is just go online and order them. And we're going to select 10 people that place an order for face masks for free. And we'll give them $1,000. So he's giving away $10,000 total. And then I saw him tweet yesterday and said within hours, his face mask, 30,000 face masks were sold out within hours.
Whoop, whoop.
But look at the
He's like, oh
marketing.
shit, I didn't think it was gonna be
but
that much.
but he's giving back, and he's doing good as far as not letting people spread germs, because in LA you get fined now if you
Good.
are caught in public without a mask on. That's
Yeah.
another thing we could
I
talk
know.
about.
I
That's
talked Philadelphia. I saw an article. Guy got ripped off a train and beaten by the police for not having a mask on.
well, and there's also articles saying encouraging your friends to snitch on you if you're not wearing a mask.
You'll get a
And
reward if
yeah, and
you
I'm like,
report social distancing not being followed. You report it. You'll get like a reward in some places.
that's not a good thing. I mean, that's a good thing as far as
Hey,
that,
Cullen, you know why
but
Wuhan or whatever is back and going? Because you come out on the street when they told you not to, they will beat you.
yeah.
Literally, they will beat you. So maybe we're taking a little page out of that book and
I
saying, I
saw
mean,
it.
that might be the new norm, Colin. This might be normal now. Like this might be the new thing. And Logan Paul, even though I think that's nice that he's doing that, it's not without some kind of
He's got his
thing.
merch marketing all
It's
over his
his, yeah,
face.
it's
Yeah,
advertising. That's why I think every company is trying to donate something or do something to get their name in the news, as this company is giving back. But that's good news. I mean, you got even these stores that are having to shut down, like Macy's and Kohl's and all these places that are doing these huge charity things. And so you definitely get recognized as being the one that stepped up to help, then that
yes.
just closed down and called it a day. You know what I mean?
Well, and yeah, he's not the first. I mean, there's so many face masks out there now
He's
that
getting a
companies
little
have.
a little publicity from that. I think. I think
Yeah,
he's probably
yeah.
getting, but it's good for him. I'm glad that he's doing it. I'm nervous about the whole face mask thing because that's just not my look, Cullen. I just don't. I don't think I look good in it. I can't breathe good. I don't want to wear them. I wear them. If the only times I've been out of the house, which is not very many, I've worn an N95 mask or whatever,
Yeah.
which we were just
Uh-huh.
lucky that we had some because Corey does woodworking and stuff, and he just had some in the garage. But I've worn that, and it's uncomfortable. I'm like in the store, touching
That's
my face, trying
yeah.
to like
Trying to get
breathe.
some ventilation, because Katie's parents came over and dropped off a sanitized basket of Easter goodies for the kids the night before, knowing that we were going to have bad storms the next day.
Mm-hmm.
But they were wearing masks and gloves and staying distanced. And I remember Grand Doc took his mask off at one point, like away from everything, and was just like, I just can't wear this for that long because I just get hot. Like my face just gets
He's a
hot. And
doctor too, right?
yeah, and can't
Uh-huh.
breathe and stuff. So
You should be used to
yeah.
it, but no, it's not comfortable. I hope that that's not the new norm. I hope that it doesn't come to that. But you know, for right now, we can all deal with it until it passes. I think it's okay. We can all deal with it.
Oh, my AirPods are already dying on me. Let me check out some of these memes that people sent me real quick. I just got
Yes,
a
yes.
notification.
We've got some funny ones. So there is definitely an upside and some good news to all this is that we're finding out how funny some folks are. And we got some memers out there doing work. Okay. You said
It
there was a
is
lot of funny ones
hilarious.
that I screenshotted that I thought were funny. It was Washington. What's the guy's name? Jason Momoa, or what's that really sexy guy's name with the tattoos? He's this
Oh
guy.
no.
Do you know who I'm talking about with the long hair? Jason
Oh
Momoa.
yeah.
And this was my favorite one. It says, "Wash your hands like you're washing Jason Momoa." So we got the funny little ones, and
There's
then
one that says Bigfoot doesn't have COVID-19 because Bigfoot practices good social distancing. Be like Bigfoot.
yeah, those are good. I love this one. It says, it's a bunch of guys in the quarantine outfits, you know, with the full outfit and the face masks on, and they said they're all dead. The other guy says, "Yeah, but did you notice how clean their assholes were?" That's hilarious to me because it's like, yeah, the toilet
That's
paper thing was a
funny.
little ridiculous. Like, what were we doing with that? The toilet paper.
Yeah. Let me see.
So this guy's been popping up on a lot of memes. If y'all are watching on YouTube, it's this black guy that's like in a yellow suit and
Oh yeah.
he's rubbing his hands together like and licking his lips like, oh yeah. And I've seen this one actually used on a few memes, but this is my favorite that he's been a part of. And it says Jehovah's Witnesses knowing that everyone's going to be home. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Like, we're gonna get on
like
this.
rubbing, like licking his lips, rubbing his hands, like mm-hmm. So that was a good one.
Let me see
What's
if
your
I can
favorites?
show one.
We've had a
I
lot
don't.
that came in on Twitter. My phone's kind of been blowing up. So you posted that this morning, and I was like, "Why is my phone going crazy?" It's because everybody's been leaving their favorite memes. Because, hey, who are you kidding? If you want to say that you haven't been seeing a lot more screen time numbers on your phone because
Oh
everybody's looking
yeah.
at their phone more, which is really a reason that, like you and I, we should be putting out a lot more content. But
Right.
I just want to be like y'all. I want to be panicking about it too, sitting home looking at my phone. But
Let me
um,
see if I can zoom in on this and screenshot. Um, it's just a picture of like there's three ATMs in a line,
uh,
or all standing next to each other, and then they've got little red. I'll put it up on the screen in YouTube,
okay.
but they've got little red exit boxes where everybody's supposed to stand 6 feet apart,
Uh-huh.
but they're only 6 feet apart one way. The next,
Yeah,
the
I
next
saw
one's
that one.
it's like, thank goodness the virus can't move sideways.
Right. Yeah, they didn't really think that one through, did they? I got one.
Uh-huh.
You know the meme, and I love that they use the same one over and over. But everybody's seen the one where the two girls are standing there, and the one blonde girl is pointing and screaming, and then the other side of the meme is the cat. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
everybody's seen that one. It's been used on 1,000 times. But one of my favorite ones for the coronavirus, it says, you said you were sick, and it's the picture of the girl screaming, and then it's the picture of the cat, and he says, no, I said I have a case of corona. And it's the cat sitting there with the corona. So
Uh-huh.
that was a good one.
That's hilarious.
You
Here's one that says, if someone told us 10 years ago that the government would pay us to stay home the entire month of 420 and that you could only leave your place to pick up snacks or weed, we would never have believed them.
Never. That's true, Cullen. It's
Never.
all about how you think about these things. You know, people are having mental breakdowns. Like, no, this is the break. This is God giving you a break from the world. Like, take it and run with
Yes.
it because it's not going to last. You know, enjoy it because
Yes.
I guarantee a month from now, y'all are going to be like, damn, I wish we were still in quarantine right now. I'm sick of this. This is
There's one that,
good.
do you want to drink on FaceTime?
I
And it's got a picture of Elsa singing that.
love it. You know the Iron Man guy? What's his name?
Yeah.
This guy,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know his name, but anyway, that guy.
Oh
So
God, everybody's gonna be like, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, the Iron Man guy, but he's got his hand to his chest and he's like, oh, thank God, like that kind of look on his face, like, oh, relieved. And above him it says, when you work at a bank and two guys with masks come in, but they're just robbing the place.
Exactly what I was saying. It's blasphemous.
It's okay.
It's just crazy. Let's see. I started the quarantine making eggs every morning for breakfast. Today, I nodded at my kids as he walked by me with a half a bag of tortilla chips and a cheese stick at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
That's true. That's just like Brooks this morning with the candy. I was just like, yep, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, whatever. There are no rules anymore, Cullen. I saw a cute one that was it was Where's Waldo, and you opened it up and then the book opened up and it was just like you could see it, was the only one there. He was like walking around on the beach alone, just Waldo. So they've they've redone the Where's Waldo. And it's quite easier than it was before to find him.
Oh yeah,
he's just him
by himself.
It's like,
I've seen that one.
Waldo.
I saw one that said during quarantine, all you need is two $5 bills if you got two kids, and you put the $5 bills up against the wall, and then you put their forehead up against the $5 bill.
Okay.
And then it says, the child who drops the money first loses, and the winner keeps the money. Hours of peace. You can thank me later.
Oh, that's actually smart. Have you tried that one?
I need to.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Just take the dirtiest thing you could find in your house, the money.
Yeah.
Here, God. Put your face on this.
I didn't think about that.
One of them was like, I saw, I didn't screenshot it, but excuse me. I said, I saw one that was telling you the things that you found out since coronavirus, since you've been quarantined. And it was just normal stuff like, irrational fear, you don't need toilet paper, blah, blah, blah. All these things that you found out in the last one was like, I love to touch my fucking face. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like you never notice how many times you touch your face. Like I'm doing it right now, but you don't realize how many times you touch your face until you're told not to.
Right. Let's see. God, there's so many.
Yeah, a lot of people posted them this morning. I was loving it.
Natasha on Twitter, or what's her name? Tiny Tara's mom. It's a picture of Baby Yoda.
That's what I just had pulled out. That's hilarious.
Really? Mom, I'll count to 3. Me. Is that because that's as far as you can go? Narrator. It was at that moment Baby Yoda realized he had 3 seconds to live.
See, I didn't even look at the bottom of that one. I just saw the top. Where it was like, is that how far you can count? Because, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there that are homeschooling that their kids are now realizing that they're dumb. Like I get like how much respect is being lost for parents right now because they can't figure out the math problem.
Here's another one somebody sent us on Twitter, Francisca, and it's like a CNN screenshot, and it says skydiver who forgot parachute died of coronavirus.
I love that.
So he survived a freaking skydive without a parachute, but then died of. I don't know if it's actually true.
That's kind of like that dude that's he was 100 and something years old, and he's the oldest survivor of the coronavirus, and he was out there dancing or whatever. But he survived World War II and all these other pandemics, and now he's gone through coronavirus and survived it. Like, there's some good news for you. There's some good news. Yeah, there's some good ones out there, Cullen. I mean, just stay on your phone and keep looking for them.
Yes.
I love me checking my account for the 100th time, seeing that it still hasn't been stimulated. Yeah, hopefully those checks come in this week and we'll be able to have a little money in our pocket, feel a little bit safer and more secure. And I mean, Cullen, really, when you think about just looking for the good news and being optimistic about the end of this thing happening and just really having a different outlook on people and how people have really come together with the tornadoes on Easter yesterday in the middle of a pandemic in Alabama. That's what's going on. And you still can look online if you're actually looking for it. You don't have to just see the bad. You can see all the good. You can see the hospital workers doing dance routines every time somebody gets off a ventilator, or these restaurants going out And even though they're struggling, they're still going to give all the doctors and nurses food for free. You're starting to see respect for people that didn't have it before, like the people that are essential workers and the grocery store clerks and the people that are out there, risking it for the biscuit. So I think that like there is a lot of good to be seen from this and a lot of silver linings and stuff. So if any of you out there that are listening are, having a hard time with this, just remember there is good out there. You just have to be looking for it.
Yes. And wash your hands.
You better wash your hands. Don't come around me. Cullen.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been good. Well, thank you for giving me for sending me over all that good news. And hopefully everybody has found something to be positive about after listening to this podcast. So.
Yes, y'all keep on keeping on. We're in it for another freaking probably couple months. Who knows? This is crazy. But keep that baby cooking as long as you can while this is going on.
Margin in charge here, Cullen. I got she's dropped. I got 6 weeks left. So hopefully this will be over by then. But if not, I have faith everything's gonna be fine. She's gonna come home and we're gonna be okay. Just stay safe.
That's going to be
crazy. Stay safe. Stay home.
Oh, my gosh.
If you do go out, though, go get me some milk and bring it back. If you got to go.
Hey, you can freeze that. You can freeze milk. We buy 2 gallons and freeze one. And then you just thaw it out overnight. I mean, in the fridge.
I'm so weird about frozen foods, but I'm starting to get over it. A month ago, I would have never eaten something out of the freezer. So I'm just weird. I got a weird relationship with food and the expiration dates on them. And but I'm getting better. See, that's a silver lining for me is that we're starting to eat some of the things in the freezer. Even Corey cooked a steak last night out of the freezer, and I said, "Is that the one?" Because I'm just now getting used to freezing stuff. But I was like, "Is that the one we got last week?" And he's like, "No, I got this the time before we went and got meat at Costco." I was like, "So a month ago." And he was like, "Yeah, a month ago." I said, "Well, then it's bad. I don't care if it is frozen. If it's been frozen, it's still gone bad. Even frozen stuff goes bad." And he spent he had a time trying to convince me that this steak was fine. It's only been in there for a month. And in my head, I'm thinking a month, it's bad. It's gone bad.
No. In the freezer, you're good. You get another month.
Well, I'm learning, and I ended up eating the steak and it was delicious and I'm fine today. So. Hey, there it is, though. There's a silver lining. Everybody improve yourself and, try to get the best version of yourself out of this. So when you do show up at the bar, when it's over, you're ready to party.
Yeah, build that tolerance up. Go make you a drink.
I'll see you in 6 weeks.
Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, thank y'all for listening and watching. Episode 95 is over.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hit the like button and all that good stuff. Voice memo us. Tell us how you're surviving.
Yes, tweet us, tag us on Instagram. Don't Tell Mom Podcast. Don't
See
Tell
you next
Mom.
time. Peace.
Woo!
You want to do a
end recording there?
You want to do a thumbnail?
No, I'll grab something. We always do that, and then I end up finding something else. Let me.
It's usually me like this.
No,
not to do that.
Let me end this.
Say cheese. Cullen, look at what happened.
I'm trying to look at your phone. That was so weird. I lean down to try to get in your phone.
Cullen's trying to look at my phone. I said, "Hey, Cullen, look at this."
I was like, "Can you see me?"
Look at what I've got you propped up on.
Oh my gosh!
Look at what I got you propped up on, Cullen. Oh, you can't see it.
I can't see it. What is that?
I can't show you. I'll send it to you. Y'all go listen to the Don't Tell Mom podcast. It's a good one. It's all good news here, folks. Just swipe up.